All right, guys, this has been Shapiro, a conservative writer, speech giver, lecturer, as well as he has his own website publication called The Daily Wire. He does his show every day, Mondays through Fridays, and really one of the smartest guys and fastest minds that I've seen in action, like since really getting into like thought and debate. And honestly, I'd like to take him on one very specific issue when it comes to localities and municipal governments and their roles in ensuring the quality of life for their constituents. Because I've heard him say, and this is one of the things that turned me off, is that, people just need to leave wherever they're from and go about the world. Like, you definitely have to leave no matter what. And I think he's in LA right now, but I just feel like that takes a lot of the onus off of local and municipal governments to take care of their constituents if their constituents keep switching out. Plus, that's something that actually doesn't happen as often as we like to think that it does in the United States. So that's where me and Mr. Shapiro kind of stand right now. Like, I'd love to, get further insight from him on his position, because he kind of seems like a globalist to me. But, to each their own. I mean, he out there getting his money. He's doing very well for himself. But the reason that I'm making this video is because he got into a back and forth with Lauren Duca, who is a author and a teacher at NYU. And, man, it's some of the most mind-drenching conversation that I've heard in a while, because this was all started when he was speaking on the U.S. women's soccer thing. He goes on to say how it's good that they won, but it's not that good to watch because the skill level just isn't there, as it really is with almost all sport. Well, not almost, yeah, almost, because women are far better gymnasts than men. Like on gymnasts, figure skating, those types of sports, definitely ladies have the upper hand. But when it comes to impact sports, not so much. And I believe soccer to be an impact sport. Either ways. He goes and puts this view out on Twitter, and Miss Duca sends him a tweet where at the end she says how she's so excited to see dyke babies be inspired, and it freaked me out, man. It really did, because why are you like concerned about prepubescent children and what they're seeing, particularly if you're not their parent? Those children will come up whatever way they eventually come up, but at the end of the day, it's not really your business how that child comes up. It's the parent's child. It's the parent's business, because it's the parent's child. Either ways, Leah, let's just get into this.
Here's how this got started. This got started because Media Matters cut a clip of me, and then you tweeted, and this is the direct quote: "LOL, F off Ben Shapiro. If Megan Rapinoe is getting contracts for any reason other than her talent, it's because she just provided an entire generation of baby dykes with their awakening moment." Now,
okay, yeah, a generation of baby dykes with their awakening. Lady, what is wrong with you? Like, seriously, like who even thinks this type of stuff? Sadly enough, feminists, apparently, because this woman, she is a lesbian feminist, and honestly, like, I guess she has nothing better to do or to think about except for what the next generation is doing, a generation in which she's not even partaking part in, because she's not pregnant. I'm not sure if she has any children. I think that would go against the whole lesbianism thing, unless she got in vitro or something else like that. I'm not sure of the details, but that is really sketchy shit.
My point was that she was getting additional advertising contracts and getting additional prosperity and media attention because of what you're saying, right? Because she is a very outspoken LGBT advocate. You seem to be saying the same thing and then telling me to F off, and I'm confused.
You know what? I'm confused too, because I think it's very, maybe I should clarify.
Okay, yeah, so she definitely catches a 35%. All right, she is not hard on the eyes by any stretch of the imagination. Just tossing that out for my regulars.
I think it's very valuable, right, that Megan Rapinoe offers this level of visibility. As a queer woman myself,
that's fine.
My heart is just, bursting out of my chest. This is something we don't really see.
And see, here's the thing. It's all about her feels. That's it. This has no logical basis. Her anger and her retort, well, I don't want to call it anger, her, I guess, flippantness and her retort to Mr. Shapiro is just all about, oh my goodness, I feel so amazing because I'm a part of this underprivileged class that is, oh, we've been through so much. Oh, remember Stonewall. Like, sweetie, come on, lesbian or not. There's no way that, I mean, you're a NYU professor talking about, I guess, feminist ideology. She's also a columnist. I mean, sweetie, let's be real.
And it brought me to tears multiple times, and I'm so excited about it. And I think I have some criticisms of rainbow capitalism, but I love to see this.
Okay, so to bring up rainbow capitalism, it's sort of like hip hop, where it's just corporatized and marketing, and has absolutely nothing to do with, oh man, you think Nike out there with Colin Kaepernick because they really care about people and the children of urban communities? Hell no. Like, you think Ellen really gives a shit about these kids in these urban communities when she gives Akbar Cook $10,000? No. And if you're not familiar with that story, you probably are, because I'm talking about the Newark School West Side that got so much money to put a laundromat in their school, because guess what? These kids are coming up in poverty. These kids are coming up hurt. These kids are coming up broken. And you know what? You just sit there and like, oh, I'll throw some money at it, and that's it. We feel so great about who we are. And that's what the rainbow corporatization is. But just from whence it originates, as all exploitative things in this country do.
Level of acceptance around the LGBTQ community, and I am really excited about the fact that corporations think that an LGBTQ identity that is as visible as Megan's is valuable. So that's what I was saying, and it seemed to me
profitable. Like, they think that they can get a bunch of money off of what equates to less than 5% of the population, and the other 95% of the population is getting to a point where it's like, yo, you went from the bullied to the bullies. It's like you just keep pumping it, and we were all excited. We was like, when gay marriage passed, we all were like, yes, good. I don't want to hear about this shit no more. That was mainly the main thing. Like, look, I just don't want to hear about it no more. Give it to them. It's all good. And now we have drag queen story hours and, LGBTQ curriculum coming to the schools. We have a lot of things that people didn't particularly sign up for. And I believe that congeal, that pushing the L's, the G's, the B's, and the T's all together has really created a boiling pot situation.
That you were saying she wasn't deserving of her success because she is such a visible.
No, that was actually not my point.
Did you hear her? Oh, you were saying that she doesn't deserve her success because she's LGBT. He never said that. Now, once he's gonna defend himself pretty well, but that's the thing. She wants to be a victim so bad. She wants that victimization. Why? Because it's how she feels. Trust me, I see this all the time in the black community.
At all, Lauren. I mean, if you had actually watched the entire clip, I can quote you from the actual clip. So I can quote you the trailer. Let me just, for folks who don't remember. Sorry, Lauren again. Now it's Lauren. Now it's my turn. I let you talk there for like a minute and a half. So now it's...
See how she's just like running the mouth without much of a clue as to where she's trying to go with it. And he's like, yo, this is my show. Like, come on.
My turn for like 30 seconds. I promise there's plenty of time. So what I actually said was that what was making me upset was that Megan Rapinoe's claim to fame right now is not merely her sexuality, her sexual orientation, which we've seen before, by the way. Abby Wambach famously kissed her partner in 2016 after winning the World Cup, right? I mean, so this is not...
Didn't Madonna and Britney Spears, like, make out? And I know this wasn't, like, an athletic thing, but, I mean, it is Will and Grace. As far as, like, mainstream acceptance of this lifestyle, we've kind of just gone about our business and said, whatever, it's all good. but the overload that's been taking place, particularly since the Trump got elected, because oh my goodness, everybody needs to be a victim. Ooh, boy.
I remember that, Ben.
Right,
that was so hot.
Well, I'm all right. Well, in any case,
he's trying to have a professional conversation with her, and she's like, "That's so hot." Like, bro, like, yo, come on. And this lady is a teacher. This lady is a columnist. This lady has a platform, and it's just like, really though. But no, that's the thing. They sit there, they boost each other up. They sit there and they astroturf their followings and stuff like that, and just make them seem like they're so profound when in reality they're saying nothing.
In any case, the fact that she is a lesbian is part of the story. Part of the story is that she spent a lot of time complaining about the White House, the United States, talking about how the United States is bigoted and homophobic. The point that I was making is, you are the beneficiary of an extraordinarily accepting system where corporations are indeed sponsoring you to make ads, where people are indeed
And that's one of the arguments that I have when it comes to almost any and every group in this country that likes to claim victimization, and that includes my very own. It's like, look, there's opportunity out here. We can, like, all you got to do is have the capacity to go get it. That's it. But unfortunately, when it comes to our educational system, as you can probably tell, seeing how this woman is a teacher at NYU, it's been so degraded and deteriorated and pushed and dangerous and toxic ideologies pushed through, including some I really believe that there is a communist type agenda that's being taken place, and it's under the guise of the whole socialism thing, which doesn't make any sense when you really kick back and think about it, particularly compared to, let's say, the days of Stonewall for the LGBTQ, or the days of Jim Crow for those for descendants such as myself. We are the beneficiaries of generations of pain and suffering, and the thing that we can do to really honor our ancestors and honor those who came before us is do well, as well as, just put the energy out there, keep that energy going when it comes to, acceptance and being good to each other, because that's ultimately what got us to this point where, you got black folk been everywhere for forever, but as far as the whole LGBTQ thing, as someone who does empathize and sympathize, my niece is of that variety. Deal is that take it easy, really, because ultimately it is about your sexuality, and that isn't the most family friendly thing ever, which Disney's learning right now.
Celebrating you, where people are paying you inordinate amounts of money to do advertising contracts in a sport that, once every 4 years makes attention, but generally does not over the course of American sporting life. And so what are you complaining about? That is not me complaining that a corporation is sponsoring her. I may have complaints that I think corporations are engaging in exactly what you called rainbow capitalism, but that wasn't actually my complaint. So I'm confused what you're yelling at me about.
Right. So I think that the confusion comes from there being two very different hierarchical structures at play here. So the United States government...
My family watched a lot of stock car racing when I was...
and is actively eroding LGBTQ rights right now. And
when? How? Please explain it. When there's like Buttigieg's running for president. He's actually in the top 5, top 6. You have endless shows. Like it said, the corporations, and they love to flower up the word exploitation, don't they? Rainbow capitalism. No, they're trying to exploit you. They are definitely exploiting you. But the deal is that no, where? Like the Trump administration is trying to decriminalize homosexuality around the world. To sit here and say, oh yeah, they're coming for our rights and everything else like that. Please explain to me, who's going at the Constitution? Who like what senator or House member, has gained steam with a with an amendment to the Constitution. Nothing to no one. They too busy sitting there. They having enough problems with the border, man. Like, you sitting here talking about, oh my goodness, they're coming after my right. Sweetheart. I mean, I know you may not like that term, but you a fine ass white woman. Ain't nobody coming at, girl, please.
There is a pay gap issue that has levels of advocacy that the U.S. women's soccer team is offering. At the same time, right, it seems as if these corporations see the LGBTQ identity that Megan Rapinoe so proudly displays as valuable. And those are two different things. Because I noticed in your clip, and I definitely did watch the whole thing multiple times. I didn't transcribe it, so you're ahead of me on that, but I did watch it.
Media Matters did, so you don't...
I sincerely doubt that she watched it, just from the way that she's kind of just, like, she realizes she doesn't have much of an argument or a leg to stand on, so she's just, like, running out of words right now. Because what was her two examples right there? Oh, well, the corporations, they're loving what Megan's doing. Okay, you just agreed with them. And I can't, what was the first one? Our first one is the hierarchical difference in pay between the men and women, when it's been widely documented that the men's game made $6 billion in 2018, whereas in this year alone the women's game made $116 million, and they're two separate things. It's not even like the NBA where they subsidize what they pay. Nah, these things are two completely separate things. And so, yeah, you're going to get us, even if you get 50% of the pie, you still got a smaller pie to get that piece from. Can you dig it? So this has there's literally nothing no one can do about this outside of FIFA completely going socialist in their pay ranks. And I don't see that happening, Miss Duca.
In it is essentially that you were saying she is profiting off of victimhood. I mean,
yes.
I saw her with a champagne bottle and a trophy. I think that the thing that is happening here is she's celebrating the LGBTQ identity. Corporations also want to do the same, and this is happening concurrently.
But she's not only doing that, Lauren.
She's advocating against, which is the attack on LGBTQ rights that is coming from.
Well, she's not only doing that, right? She's kneeling for the national anthem. Obviously, she is proclaiming that America is a widespread bigoted country. She's making those sorts. She's claiming that America is deeply sexist, and this is resulting in the female pay gap with regard to soccer, which is evidence-free. I mean, this has been fact-checked by everybody from the Washington Post to Snopes. There is not solid evidence that the women are being discriminated against in pay. If you want women's equity on the Women's World Cup stage, you're going to have to explain how it is that the Men's World Cup earned $6 billion in 2018, and the Women's World Cup earned $130 million in 2018. And in 20...
So I got those numbers a little mixed up, but either ways, boom. I mean, come on, battery. This is the second thing that I'm too deep into this video to stop now. Sorry guys for the little bit of mix up, but either ways, yeah, sweetie, you don't have a leg to stand on. You're just being emotional. And honestly, guys, this is all right. So if you are a male, I'd like for you to look between your leg. What you got there is what I call a sense stick. SENSE, sense stick. See, when the lady is completely off a rock or whatnot, what have you, you're supposed to use that stick to make it right. All right, you gotta put the sense in there, because hey, I mean, we got different brains, they work differently, And when she get a little bit of sense stick in her, then oh man, everything that Miss Duca is sitting here tripping about and like, oh my goodness, like you were sitting there being bigoted, Ben Shapiro and all, she wouldn't have said that. Why? Because she would have had some sense knocked into her. And so with her being this very proud lady of the lesbianic lifestyle, she hasn't had a sense stick, so thusly she's just out here like a ping pong, you know what I'm saying, just like going off the rails, ding 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 ding. And I mean, to power to her, it's her right to do it, God bless you, darling, but without that sense stick, ladies tend to be a little extra emotional, like just, hey, any little thing can set them off and can trigger them, right? Just saying. Believe in a sense stick.
19, and the women and men are supposed to have the same prize money. If the men earned $400 million, men, just generally, all the men's teams earned $400 million in prize money in 2018, the women's World Cup teams earned $130 million in order to receive the same as men. They would have to actually earn 3 times what the entire World Cup earned for the players themselves, which is just untenable, obviously.
Right. Okay. So I hear a lot of numbers, and I do.
That brain is having a hard time calculating them, huh? I don't mean to be mean, but she just was in her feelings, and the more he break it down, you can see her. She's trying to slow down and walk it back.
I hear what you're saying, and that they are numbers. But I feel like at the crux of this,
boom. She feels. She doesn't know. She feels. That's the problem.
There's a question of, is the United States overall a sexist country? Is there a problem of LGBTQ representation?
Right.
I mean, I think we can also say that her being so visible in the
Okay, so here's the thing about LGBTQ representation that it doesn't sink in. You see the type of you see the hard time a woman like this is having with something that Ben Shapiro didn't even say. But the problem with the LGBTQ representation is that it's not tenable. It's not family friendly. As far as the traditional conservative senses go, and not even conservative, this is liberal. There are certain things that I want to say that the decent among us don't play with. Some of them is kids, because guess what? The parents supposed to be raising the kids, both of them together. And on the left side, no. All these families, they're just as good as the next one. And it's oh yeah, no. Every single child should be raised by the 2 parents and the 2 people that made them, and those folks should be providing that person with a stable home. So people like Ms. Duca here shouldn't even be worrying about them. And I'm using a lot of I'm using a qualifier of shouldn't, because that's just not reality. That's not the world we live in. I don't want you to ever think that I think that it isn't. But at the same time, those ideas, they are what those conservative ideals are what helped get this country to the point where Miss Rapinoe can do what she does. Miss Duca can feel all she wants and still have a paycheck and and provide for herself, quote unquote. NYU taxpayers, I'm just saying. But either ways though, this mindset and this mentality is dangerous. And it is all about how she feels. And when you sit there and make decisions based off of emotions, you are headed towards a bad time.
Of a complete lack of visibility is valuable, right? And
Lauren, I'm confused.
Hey Ben, can
Sure.
I?
And that's the thing. What are you talking about? A lack of visibility? Y'all haven't shut up since since the marriage thing was done. And that gets me to go back to the representation part. And I think this video's run long enough, so give me a second. It's inherently sexual, and that's just not what that decent family, that regular mom dad family, that's not what they want their kid to see. All right, so it is something that's inherently sexual, and it's not for children to partake in. So with that being said, all the internet stuff, right? If you liked it, toss it a like or dislike. I'm not scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to get more videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring, and speak. Let me know what you think in the comments. All the Miss Duca here, she wasn't ready. Alright, and hopefully some of her students caught that, and they're now ex-students. Alright, because this woman shouldn't be teaching anybody. She's way too emotional. She's not of her right mindset, and instead of checking this, what our society has done, we've enabled it. So until the next one.